update time. I have not updated you guys in a minute, and it is the first Monday in the first month of 2026. Happy New Year. I hope all is well with all of you, and I decided to share a little bit about where I am in my journey now. This is not medical advice, just good advice. So I did look back to check and see where I was during that last update, and I am an additional 20 potatoes down. So what have been the changes? I'm going to go from least impactful to most impactful this time. We're going to switch it up. But to preface all of this, let's start by sharing with you that I was a GLP-2 girl and I'm now a GLP-3 girl. Side note, I apologize from the beginning of this. For anybody that's new to this world, you're going to hear all kinds of weird stuff. You know, we use different words for different things that we are researching, this research world and this app. You don't necessarily go with each other as far as a lot of the words that are discussed or not loved on the app. So we use things like potatoes to refer to certain things. We use different code words. And so I'm choosing to use GLP-2 versus GLP-3. I'm going to do a little bit of digging in the community and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, what have been the biggest changes for me moving from GLP-2 to 3? Let's go. Now, the first one is going to be physical energy. I do enjoy other peps and other aminos that assist with this anyway, which is how I was able to find some of the best stacks that I could have imagined, because when I'm researching GLP-2, I found it quieting of the food noise for sure and quieting of the appetite, but also flattening. There was a lot of tiredness, a lot of dragging, and not to the point where it was not something that I would have continued. I know that for some, GLP-2 does not have this effect, but for me, I definitely had times where I was very, very tired or overly exhausted going through the biggest changes of that journey. So there is a noticeable change in energy when moving to GLP-3. Noticeable change. Number 2 is that GLP-3 is more targeted potato loss, right? More targeted composition. With GLP-2, you're going to see the thing with the numbers on the floor. You're going to see that move a lot more. With depending on where you are in your journey. As I said, I am in this maintenance stage. But you will notice you will have a lot more NSVs. There's a lot of non-scale victories with the GLP-3, where you'll find tighter waists, leaner muscles. You're going to notice that body recomping and targeted potato loss or targeted potato build, in my case, in some areas, is a lot more achievable. So that would be number 2 in my switch for GLP-2 to 3 journey. And the most impactful, drum roll. The food noise is still quiet, but cravings have completely shifted. Now, for me, I am a dopamine person and not as much a serotonin person. And that does affect you psychologically in many ways. There are different creators and experts on this app that will tell you the difference between the two. But because of that, when I was on GLP-2, there were no cravings. I didn't have those feelings at all. Food, there was plenty of times where I would need to remind myself to eat. It just wasn't something that was on my radar. With GLP-3, I definitely have hunger back. And I have cravings. And the cravings, I do make better decisions around my cravings, so I do notice that. I make strategic decisions around what I want to eat and how much I've eaten of something in a day. So it's definitely more calculated. I will say that. But also it was a bit of a crazy thing to go through to feel hunger again because, GLP-2 cuts that short. P.S. With GLP-3, you get a little bit of that lying, a little bit of that fibbing. It will tell you that you're starving. And then psych, you're actually not that hungry. And I have had on GLP-3 moments where I'm like, I am going to make an entire meal. I've definitely wanted to cook more as well with GLP-3, interestingly enough. GLP-2, I was more like, okay, like, you're eating to fuel your body and you're watching your potatoes more. Now with 3, I'm doing more of the strategic planning and looking at balanced meals, and I'm definitely cooking more. And I'm now doing that with intention, and I have had situations where I'm like, I am starving today. Today is going to be my eating day for sure. And I am, bubble, toil and trouble, and you've got every pot on the stove, and you really weren't that hungry. You end up serving yourself the meal, and you're just not eating as much as you thought you would. So that's another, like, a mind trick thing that I didn't experience with 2 that I do with 3. So ultimately, very happy with this journey, continuing to be happy with this life-changing journey. If any of you are starting this journey, please continue. Please push through. I know this is a time of resolutions, but know that the resolution that you choose, which is to take care of yourself, should always be paramount. It is a journey you will not regret, even with any hiccups along the way. No need to switch if you don't need to switch. I will tell you, my decision to go from 2 to 3 was because of that body recomp and me wanting to regain in certain areas to feel comfortable and confident the way that I had when I was heavier. But now I'm the healthier version of myself. And so now I'm working on myself in a lot of other ways. And so that is why I chose to switch it up from 2 to 3. Still very, very happy with this entire process. If you have any questions at all about how I actually did this switch, how long it's been, or just any questions that you might have, please drop a comment below or DM. I'm open for questions, and keep on keeping on. Hope it helps.